feel very good to be back, although I'm not really back. This is Elaine at the Purple Portal, speaking to you still from New Jersey. And I just had a few moments of update from my precious Jeff on Merritt Island, where I would normally go to the studio to do this live recording. So at that point, you could phone in, but today you can't because I'm remote, although it's live but remote. And I do have a wonderful special guest with me today, but first, I have to jabber away for a little bit. Merritt Island, folks, some of you know I actually lived there, about 2 years ago. It's a beautiful, beautiful island, but when the services are not up and running, wow and owie, it's a big owie. So Jeff was just sharing, some of the waste management is, I think they're out-wasted. I don't know where they went. Rain yesterday, people were still without electricity. Lots of upheaval there, lots of chaos. So, send those people some happy thoughts, those of you who are listening. All we can do when the other fellows, when our siblings, because that's everybody in the world, there are siblings, you hold the light steady so that they can feel steady. We're not going to change it, fix it, help it, or heal it, but you can hold your light steady. That's the gift we give to each other. So for a couple of weeks, some of you wondered, where am I? And incidentally, thank you all for your well wishes. I understand they were all coming from a place of happy heart for you. I am safe, thank you. My family that is in Melbourne, they are safe. Everybody's back in their nest. Everybody's back to work, back to school. Although at this point, now I feel like I've been gone a long, long time. Now, even my precious Lily and Jasper, my grandchildren, are saying, Lainey, come home now, come home. So they're starting to put the buzz in my ear. However, there's so much work to be done here in Jersey. I'm sorry to tell you, Jeff, I don't think I'm still going to be there next week, but soon I'm coming back home to South Florida. And right now, after hearing the mess on Merritt Island, I don't even know that I could have gotten to the studio today because traffic lights are out. It's really tense for these folks. And as Jeff said, they didn't even get the worst of it. There's the worst that's happening. So I have to tell you, the worst seems now to be happening all around us. Here I am, supposedly safe and tucked in the Northeast, and I certainly am appreciative of that. And right this moment, there's no storm upon us. But I see the storm in everybody's eyes, in their hearts, in their behavior. I went into a simple grocery store yesterday at an off time because I had been to this place 2 other times with what I figured must have been an on time. I was so exhausted. Now, I needed about 6 things from this big grocery store. I got to the gal at the checkout counter, and I calmly looked and I said, is this store always like this? She knew immediately what I meant, and she looked at me. She was very calm. She said, there is never a moment that this store is not completely frenetic. I didn't even have to use the word. She did. And I walked out, and I thought, I hear you 3 times. That's it. It's a charm for me. There's no way I will be going back to that grocery store again. I don't want to be contaminated by this frenetic energy. And as I look at the eyes of so many dear people, they're vacant. They're running around in such a tailspin. It's absolutely, it's kind of unnerving, to be quite honest. So these dear people in the Northeast have their own kind of hurricane, and it's an internal one. And it's just really amazing to see. So I'm one, because I stay so dang calm for the most part, that I'll question a salesperson very calmly, like, boy, is it always like this? And, last night I went into a large, my favorite kind of store, if I really don't know quite what else to do with myself and I'm too tired to talk to another person. I went into a simple Marshall's. I don't need the high-end stores. First of all, I can't even bear it because I'm not going in with my Prada handbag. So then, of course, I don't want to even pay attention to you. But I was in a simple Marshall's last night, found a remarkably reduced handbag that made me oh so happy. I have to show you later. Just oh so happy. Completely chained down. This handbag is under lockdown. I'm like, holy smokes. So, okay, we got to get the sales gal to come and unlock this handbag. And so I figured she's going to hand me the handbag. Oh, no. She looks at me with great calmness, and she says, I'm sorry, I cannot give this to you. I have to take this to the checkout counter. I'm like, what has happened to us? So then, of course, she becomes my best buddy, and now I have to start the conversation with her. What do you see in here? What is happening? She says, it's like the spigot opened. You can't imagine the amount of theft and pillage and destruction. She said, there's no way that this handbag would disappear. And the two of us were bonded by the time I left. And this was a lovely woman, not originally from the United States. And she very gently said, and I'm raising my daughter differently. And I figure she's got to be a single mommy, working her buns off. And here she's looking at the carnage, the theft, the destruction in a simple store. And I'm thinking, how do these people even do it? How does this happen? If I pick up a bobby pin from the floor, I got to give it to somebody. It's not mine. So it's very, very interesting. And I know it's just not the Northeast, but I have to question, where have people's wholeness? It's gone, their integrity, their wholeness, their ethics. I don't know where it's gone, but jeepers, creepers. You will be accountable, and I don't know where the accountability comes. Maybe you personally don't have to pay back the money for the $200 bag you walked out with, but some which way that's going to be taken from you. And that's pretty, how could it possibly be taken in a way that you might be uncomfortable with? It could be called the $200 medical bill that's not deductible for your child. There it is. There's the universe making things even, Steven. So it's not necessarily right against you that the balance wheel will be restored, but it is against you if it's your loved one. So I don't know. The hurricane's all over as far as I can see. And there's a couple of people that I know in South Florida must be relieved to have gotten my quick GoDaddy email today, which I was oh so proud to figure out how to send it to you remotely again. I miss you all, my friends, and hello, Miss Jean Newell. Thank you for reaching out to me. I hope you're safe, darling. I've truly any of you that have not heard from me, I have not had a moment. I have a line from 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. So it's been very rewarding, a bit daunting, but that's why. So please, I beg your indulgence. We'll catch up when I get back. And I've taken a look also at what the heck happened during the month of September that we're still in. I mean, basically, we're just a little bit more than halfway. So September is Rooster Month. We are in Rooster Year. September, for those of you who understand a little bit of the Bagua, it puts the number 1 in the center of the Bagua. 1 resonates with the emotional frequency of fear. So poor Florida was absolutely fear-struck. Some of you, thank goodness, remembered some of the work that I had suggested to do. And if there's another storm, which indeed we're not out of hurricane season yet, you've got to use the violet light. You could call it the violet light. You could call it the purple tent. Some people do better with that. You have to tent your place. You've got to see the entire home or office drop like a circus tent. You drop the tent, drop the flaps, and keep that place surrounded in the frequency of the color violet. It really does work. You know, from a distance, I live in a condominium there. My condominium is on or right next to the water, actually. I knew which way the storm was coming from. It was coming from the east and the south. My exposure is east and south. I got that. And I just did a little more intense work. People were more frightened for me than I was. I did not go there. So what I did was I attempted to tent the entire building. But I lease, and trust me, when I lease something, I am the custodian. I'm the guardian of that place. And dang it, no harm is going to come to a place when I'm there. So my unit was so well tented, it was tented down tight. Well, yesterday I got a text from the manager saying, bear with us, you know, the grounds took a hit, and some of you have damage. Now, I sent my son back in yesterday to make double sure he had already checked it out. I stood firmly with no harm comes near my tent. That's all I knew. So for all of the well-wishers, some of you were driving me crazy because then I had to counter your fear. Don't put your fears out there for someone else. It's not really very nice. It's part of the old paradigm. Oh, but I'm worried about you. Nonsense. Do your work. Oh, but I've always worried. I'm telling you, that will keep you stuck in a third-dimensional frequency. So you've got to be better off at your work. You got to do better. You just do. And you've got to change your languaging. I had a woman here this morning telling me she had been cleaning up an apartment after some tenants had been in there. Now, she knows I'm a tenant, but she also must have forgotten because she put out, tenants always destroy the place. And that's her belief system. So her place was completely destroyed. And, of course, after she finished saying how much every tenant who's ever been in this place destroyed it, then I pointed out how her mouth was getting her in trouble. And no, I'm a custodian. I'm the perfect tenant. You can eat off the corners of the rooms when I leave a place. So please watch your mouths. I appreciate your... What do I appreciate? I appreciate that we're all connected. I appreciate that you have love in your heart. I would be in greater appreciation as you pay more attention to what you're saying, because it would be more empowering rather than disempowering. Okay? So just watch your mouth. And yes, there's still more fear to climb over, because this pattern of one in the center of the Bagua and the fact that we're in Rooster Month does not end until October 7th. So hang tight. And I've already heard whisperings of, oh, there's a storm coming to the northeast. Oh, my gosh, Elaine. Well, honestly, over the weekend, I got the simple inner memo. Elaine, make sure you get some gallons of water and bring them into where you're staying. I did that. Check.